What's a fecal transplant?
So fecal transplant is where you take a healthy person's poop and you transfer it into the person who's sick.
And where are they administering it?
The way that I've always done the fecal transplant, because I've done many throughout my career, is during a colonoscopy. So if in theory...
What's a colonoscopy?
Yeah, so a colonoscopy is a medical procedure where typically you would be asleep, and while you're asleep, I take a long flexible tube that is about the size of my index finger, and I can pass that with control all the way through the entirety of your large intestine, which is about 5 or 6 feet long, and I can actually dip into the last part of the small intestine, which we call the terminal ileum, which is down here in the right lower part of the abdomen. You're administering the fecal transplant because they have this vicious infection called C. diff. And again, this infection can be life-threatening. And you're administering the fecal transplant because the antibiotics are not working. So you need an alternative where the idea and goal is to restore balance within the gut ecosystem.
Yeah, you're putting good bacteria in, not taking bad bacteria.
Yeah.
Not taking all bacteria out, I guess.
So you put the good bacteria in, and when this happens, you're actually all at once reinstalling potentially hundreds of species in balance in the right amounts. So it's like an entire ecosystem transplant. It would be like us being like, okay, here's this forest that's not doing well. We're going to take the Amazon and we're going to transplant it into the space. And now that we have all these animals that like do well in this space, the forest is lush and it's vibrant again. So Parkinson's disease is a neurocognitive disorder. So that means basically it's a brain condition. Mm-hmm. Well, it turns out that Parkinson's probably starts in the gut. And this is actually a disorder of the gut-brain connection because both parts are involved. It's not just the brain condition. The brain condition is actually the more severe part. So, and what we want to talk about is the brain-gut connection, the connections between the brain and their intestines. And so we have classically thought of Parkinson's disease as being a brain health problem. But I'm here to tell you that this problem begins down here in the gut and involves the connections between the two. Because every single person that I've ever seen with Parkinson's disease, they're constipated. All of them. And what's interesting is that they've now shown that the constipation comes before the Parkinson's disease. So now this doesn't mean, for people who are constipated, there's a lot of you out there, this doesn't mean that if you're constipated, you're going to develop Parkinson's disease. There's a very small percentage of people. But it's important to understand that the manifestations of this health condition actually start in the digestive system before they actually transfer up to the brain. And so now in this study, Steve, what they did is they took these people who have Parkinson's disease, they gave them a fecal transplant.
They gave them a poo transplant?
They gave them a poo transplant. And what they found was a year later, they had a durable, continued benefit in terms of their movement issues. There are now other studies with Parkinson's disease that are showing benefit both for the brain and the symptoms of Parkinson's disease, but also for the gut in terms of that constipation that I was talking about.
I mean, it begs the question. These poo transplants sound great. Can the average person go and get one?
I think we need to talk about that. Yeah, we need to talk about that because there was a Netflix special where they made it sound like you should just do it at home. Do not do that. Please do not do that. So, number one, we need to study and adequately understand what the risks are. The fecal transplant makes it sound like this is like the quick, easy thing that you do and you fix your entire life. But that's not the same as rebuilding your microbiome using the lifestyle and diet tools that actually are going to give you the meaningful health impact that you're searching for.
Over the long term.
Over the long term.